In this MicroNugget, let's you and I look at some of the safety features that are found in Internet Explorer 11. While we've had some of these for several generations, they get improved upon, as you might guess, in IE 11. Let's take a tour of some of my favorites. By the way, this is a slice out of our Configuring Windows 8.1 course here at CBT Nuggets, and we are on a Cintiq Companion running Windows 8.1 Pro. The Cintiq Companion is a really cool tablet that allows you the Wacom whiteboard capability with underlying Windows 8.1 Pro powering the whole thing. So let's fire up our Internet Explorer. And actually, the first thing that I want to share with you is not really a safety feature. It's more of a your browser's going to work feature. You see, if you go under here and you look at Compatibility View settings, realize that you can go ahead and make a list of websites that you know aren't showing up well in your IE 11. IE 11 is built around the very latest in web technologies and capabilities, and of course you may have some older website you visit frequently that looks terrible as a result of it being coded for life in like 2006. So Microsoft has a database baked right into IE 11 of sites it knows to run already in Compatibility View, but you can easily add sites that you want to run this way so they look great. Now let's head over to the safety settings. One of the biggest safety settings that I want to share with you right away is InPrivate browsing. Yeah, so I want to shop for my wife for our anniversary. I'm going to go over to Amazon.com and notice I'm doing it in private. Absolutely none of this information is going to be cached. Not graphics that I'm pulling down, not URLs in address bars, not in our history. Okay, in fact, we'll prove that. So I go to Amazon.com and I'm looking at stuff for her. And then I close this browser session. I open a new browser session. We go into, let's say, the history, and you can't see, right, anything about where you went. In fact, I need to obviously go over to my history and look at today, and it has no record of us visiting Amazon.com. By the way, look at my daughter. What does the fox say from Abercrombie? Unbelievable. All right, so anyways, what a nice privacy feature. Now, I know what you may be thinking. If you're watching this and you are indeed an IT administrator, you're thinking to yourself, Anthony, that is definitely not something that I want to give my end users. I want to see everything they're doing. So if you want to disable that functionality, you can in your corporate deployment. Do it through a group policy object. In fact, let me show you that. We can use a local group policy object for me to show it to you. Obviously, you would use your corporate, group policy management console to push this down through your organizational units. But let me just show you. We can go into, let's see, I believe it's Windows settings. Actually, you know what? It's administrative templates. Then go to Windows components and then go down to Internet Explorer. We can turn off and control all kinds of behaviors, as you can see, regarding Internet Explorer through policy. But now let's go and take a look at another safety feature I think you're going to like, and that's tracking protection. If you're concerned about particular ad-based organizations tracking you and then presenting you with ad information, go into tracking protection. You can make your own personalized list of websites that you don't want tracking you, or in my case, I need to rely on the expertise of a third party. So we'll choose Get a Tracking Protection List online. And now we can go down and use one of these trusted sites, and we can add this list to our Internet Explorer. And now we are no longer being tracked by a whole bunch of organizations that, in this case, the Trust E Corporation knows are tracking us for, advertising or nefarious purposes. If we go under Safety Now, notice what we can do is turn off this tracking protection that we have enabled. Something else that is turned on for you by default, by the way, is SmartScreen filtering. So notice here from the safety feature, we can go out and turn that off. It's turned on by default. what does SmartScreen filtering do? Well, it protects you against this massive database that Microsoft has put together, and once again, pre-cooked into IE11. And this database is of phishing sites. So it's going to prevent us from going to, let's say, a false Bank of America site and entering in our credentials. Now, if we are at a particular site, like my awesome blog site, ajsnetworking.com, yeah, I know, shameless plug. So if we're at ajsnetworking.com and we discover, oh my goodness, we're actually the fake ajsnetworking.com, we're at a phishing site, we can go up to the safety feature and we can report that website as unsafe to Microsoft.com. So pretty cool. We can add to the database that is built to protect us. And please don't do that for my site. It's safe. All right, so what else under safety do I want to show you? Well, if you are at a website and you're just not sure of its safety, so you're like, this might be a phishing site, you can always go up to the safety feature and you can choose check this website. And it says, all right, we'll check it for you. And you know what? Of course, AJS networking is not only safe, it's very, very educational. Now, when it comes to your safety features, the last thing I want to point out to you in this MicroNugget is under Internet Options, realize that from a security perspective, Microsoft's Internet Explorer 11 is going to organize things into 4 categories. Internet sites, and you can manipulate what some of these are containing, right? So internet, it automatically detects, okay? Now, for local intranet, we can go in and manipulate what sites are included there, just like trusted sites and restricted sites. And notice what Microsoft does. They do particular combinations of security settings depending on what bucket you fall in. Internet's medium-high security, local intranet's medium-low, trusted sites is medium, restricted sites is high. If you want to go and manipulate the sites that fall into these categories, you can. If you want to customize the specific security settings, you can. If you want to enable protected mode for any of these, where the website cannot use your credentials in order to interact with the operating system, we can enable protected mode. Also, we have a privacy tab. The privacy tab says, look, here's the level of privacy you want against things like cookies. Okay. Also, this is where we would stop websites from tracking our physical location. This is where we would do pop-up blocking and potentially customize that with exceptions and things of that nature. And this is also where we can disable toolbars and extensions when we're in that in-private browsing mode that I showed at the beginning of this MicroNugget. So the security and privacy tabs are going to be of interest to you if you're interested in Internet Explorer overall safety. Well, in this MicroNugget, we took a look at some of the safety features that are incorporated in Internet Explorer 11. We find this as the browser we're going to find in Windows 8.1. I sure hope this MicroNugget has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.